They were aggrieved by what they described as increasing cases of torture, abductions and extrajudicial killings.
Freedom! We want freedom!
They consequently announced a boycott of parliamentary sittings for 2 weeks.
By the meantime, we shall be coming back here every day to update the country of our next course of action.
Their concerns did not go unnoticed. A few days later, Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Wilson Muruli Mukasa, presented a report before Parliament.
Torture is not a policy of government, nor is it even a method of interrogation. And there is indeed a law about this, and the law is very clear. His Excellency the President has, in his own words, stated this position and policy of government many times.
As an emphasis on government position against acts of torture and extrajudicial killings, Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi has spoken.
So part of these efforts are just to divert Ugandans from that fight against the ADF in order to ensure that we flush out terrorism and ensure that Ugandans have peace and security. So we shall not allow to be diverted. If there are cases of criminality, the state will definitely handle those cases.
It is because of similar reasons that Baryomunsi is against parliamentary boycott by opposition-leaning legislators.
Our record is very clear that respect for human and people's rights, promotion of human dignity has been at the forefront of the NRM governance. So there is no reason whatsoever at this point in time why the NRM would promote torture or would harass and torture suspects, even if they are opposed to the government.
The concern may be genuine, but the approach is not, according to Dr. Chris Baryomunsi.
If they feel the best way of serving their constituents is working out, we have no grudge with them, but for us who feel we must bring all the issues from our constituencies, issues of the country in Parliament, for us we shall remain in the Parliament and bring whatever grievances, whatever issues we have on the floor of Parliament, because we think as a member of Parliament, that's where I can take the concerns, particularly of the people who voted me into that Parliament.
With such guidance, how far will the legislators go with their boycott? And how successful will a censure motion against Security Minister General Jim Muhwezi go? Henry Okrut, UBC.
That is true. Yeah.
The overall commander, Operation Shujaa, Major General Kiijanangoma, has opened up the third offensive approach route against the ADF. Now, this is the third joint operation assault on Allied Democratic Forces rebels in the eastern DRC, conducted jointly with FARDC Army.
Escorted by combat vehicles crossed into Democratic Republic of Congo in Brassi using the newly installed ferry at Haibale landing site on River Semrik. While addressing the forces at Brassi landing site in Democratic Republic of Congo, Operation Shujaa Commander Major General Kiijanangoma said that the offensive action is aimed at hunting for scattered ADF rebels.
Action of today marks phase 2 of the operation. Phase 1, of course, we dealt with the enemy seriously. He got a lot of casualties. He's scattered now. He's mobile, and he's trying to overstretch our forces. So that the enemy now has scattered, we had to roll into phase 2 of the operation to form sectors. Now we have 3 sectors where we are going to operate, where the enemy is.
General Kayanja added that ADF must surrender and enjoy the presidential amnesty still in place.
Of course, what we are telling the ADF is that they should first of all report, because there is that amnesty that government put that is still in place, for them to report to us or to the FADAC forces. Otherwise, if one is captured, that means he has to go to prison and he will face the courts of law.
Major General Kayanja revealed that the road from Burasi to Boga stretches of 50 kilometers, which was impassable, is being worked on jointly with FRDC. The road will connect Mbau, Oucha, Elingeti, Kainama, Chabi, Olamoyo, River Semrik Bridge up to Mukakati. The joint Operation Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo started from Mobile border point to Kamango, Mukakati to Kambeyayuwa into Virunga Forest. Haruna Mutesasira, UBC News.
Still with the operation against the ADF, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, together with the National Armed Forces of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, fired at more allied Democratic Forces rebels in Irumu Forest, eastern DR Congo. The attacks by the UPDF and FARDC soldiers follows guerrilla rebel attacks against locals and a Congolese army camp.
According to the spokesperson for the Congolese Army FRDC in Ituri, Lieutenant Ures Ngongo, said the army bombed rebel positions located in Makolo Forest towards Zunguluka in the territory of Irum. Operation Shuja spokesperson Major Peter Mogisa has confirmed this report.
The targets were Rio and given by our surveillance gadgets. The targets were Rio and there were many. By the use of airstrikes and artillery is one of the ways of hunting down these ADF wherever they are.
The bombs were launched from the village of Rebisengo towards Haibare on the side of Semriki River in Uganda, towards the location of the ADF camps in Makolo Forest.
This is the second phase where we are hunting them down by use of the ground forces and also artillery and air force.
Local sources in the area also confirm that detonation of heavy weapons were heard in several localities south of Irum. On Friday, the rebels also attacked the town of Nobil in the east of Beni on the border with Uganda and killed 5 people. They also attacked neighboring Kamango and Japande areas and killed dozens.
No problem. It's only that these people are coming from Congo and we're gathering them at the town council in Busunga, another on in the playground in Butogo, bus of UNHCR, they are there picking them all the time, and my security members are there keeping them. That's where we are.
The attack forced locals to flee to Uganda through Bundebujo district. It has been confirmed that a total of 1,600 refugees entered Uganda through Bundebujo and camped at Butogo settlement camp. Haruna Mutesasira, UBC News.
And Operation Shuja continues. Thanks so much, Haruna, for those stories there. Members of Parliament are set to introduce a law that will implicate those who misuse or abuse social media. The law is to be tabled in Parliament by a Member of Parliament, Kampala Central, Mohammed Nsereko, and aims to punish those who spread false information about individuals.
Honorable, can you just say a word?
The proposal by members of Parliament to come up with a new law to prosecute those who generate and spread false information on social media was after the Minister for Disaster Preparedness, Hilary Onek, appeared at Parliament in good health. He was listed this week among those in critical conditions receiving treatment abroad by social media and some publications. Others pronounced him dead.
Yesterday, when I was going to Cabinet, on the way, I was looking through the papers, then I found out I was among those critically flown out. Now, that was by red paper. And when I read it, I was just wondering what happened. Really, I can only forgive them. There's nothing much I can say. But let them retract that statement. Because I would wish the red paper to retract the statement. Actually, I've even added weight during the holidays. Now, how can I be critically ill in this form?
It's from here that the MP for Kampala Central, Muhammadin Sereko, proposed to table a law that will make it illegal to falsely, among others, to pronounce someone dead or sick when it is actually not true.
But for sure, Right Honourable Speaker, at a later stage, I would like to seek leave of this august House to introduce a law to clamp down on matters of cyberbullying, on matters of computer misuse, by preemptively introducing the issue of fines as penalties, by the way, so that they know if you write anything malicious about the Honorable or any other member of society, you can see people sharing people's images without permission, cropping people's images without permission. And this is hurtful not only to individuals, but also their families. Therefore, we as the legislature, if we do not step in and protect both sides, we shall have what we call cat and dog fights. You abuse someone, they come for you and they hurt you. So at the end of the day, it will be an eye for an eye.
The move was unanimously supported by the MPs, including the government chief whip, Thomas Tayebwa, and the Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
I'm really glad colleagues are looking at this issue because the bullying going on is too much. And it has resulted into some people also overreacting because they have feelings. You see, some of the people, they want to bully you online, but they want you not to react. You're a robot. They squeeze you online, they use whatever. Then when you react, it's trouble.
It's torture.
So I'm really glad, colleagues, Honorable Sereko, you've raised this matter. As government will support you.
They should leave us to do our work. This business of witch hunting, people writing all the nonsense.
Hilary Onek is not the first Ugandan pronounced dead, but is still alive. President Museveni, the Kabaka of Buganda, former Minister for Education Geraldine Namirembe Mitamazire, former Accounting Officer, Minister of Finance, Keith Mwakanizi have all been pronounced dead while they are still alive and kicking. Philip Aguta, UBC News at Parliament.
The British High Commission and other partners have joined efforts to create awareness on the green growth strategies and impacts in Uganda as a necessity to support and protect nature. Her Excellency Kate Ailey, the British High Commissioner to Uganda, says it is important to pursue the economic development and socio-economic transformation of the country. In a two-day conference held here in Kampala, Kate called upon government to provide quality and consistent framework for the protection of the environment, as we hear in this report.
This conference is about attracting Ugandan entrepreneurs, people who've got ideas that are bankable projects and want to see how they can develop that further, how they can be matched with British and international investors to bring that money, to get that financing flowing. And I think now that's really the next big immediate challenge we face. The world is a competitive world. Uganda needs to focus on getting that good quality, those three things in place. Those effective systems that are going to be able to support climate financing flowing to Uganda, the bankable projects that are about entrepreneurs, that are about the private sector, about communities, thinking about what they need, and then finally also that reputational piece, proving that what you buy in Uganda is what you get in Uganda when you invest in Uganda. What we need to do is, I think, one, raise awareness of the kind of size of the opportunity that's out there. Secondly, raise awareness also of what investors are looking for here in Uganda, what does a bankable project really mean. We're going to be working very closely with colleagues in the Ministry of Environment, because that framework piece is absolutely essential to ensuring that we can get this financing flowing. So we're working very closely, not just with the Ministry of Water and Environment, but also with the Ministry of Finance, setting up a climate finance forum that goes across ministries precisely to achieve this. Climate financing is fascinating, because this is a massive global change we are making, and that businesses the world over are looking for the right kind of investments. This is an opportunity in the making that will ensure that the future generations, that natural capital, remains in place for future generations.
British High Commissioner to Uganda, Her Excellency Kate Ailey, ending that report there. To matters pertaining to fuel now, and Parliament has directed the Minister for Energy and Mineral Development to cancel the license for fuel dealers who have maintained high fuel prices. Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Anita Amonga, and the legislators decried the high costs of fuel in the country 1 month after the crisis at the Uganda-Kenya border that hiked the cost of fuel. It should be noted that fuel costs raised to almost 10,000 Ugandan shillings after the truck drivers staged a strike over mandatory COVID test. But since then, the dealers refused to lower the cost, although the matter was resolved.
We will not finish. Government, the minister or the regulator is ordered by this parliament. Now we are ordering, we are not requesting him. He is ordered by this parliament to write to all the licensed operators of petrol stations on the fuel prices. And a copy must be brought and laid on table on Tuesday. Tomorrow.
To the courts of law now, where Uganda Road Magistrates Court has released 5 councillors out of the G14 National Unity Platform NUP councillors who were arrested last week on charges of inciting members of the public to riot against KCCA enforcement officials who were removing vendors off the streets of Kampala City. Presiding Magistrate Sanula Nambozo released the 5 accused persons on bail based on the view that they are responsible leaders and women who need to take care of their children back home.
The 14 Lord councillors who were arrested last week along Allen Road in Kampala on charges of inciting members of public to riot against KCCA enforcement officials have once appeared in court for mention of their case. The 14 were protesting against the removing of vendors off the streets of Kampala City, asking the public to join them in the struggle. Before Magistrate Nambozo, the accused applied for bail through their lawyers by each presenting sureties, although this was objected by the state.
Your Worship, we pleaded and pleaded from Monday, Tuesday, and Your Worship, you must understand. Come Wednesday, Your Worship, the court goes by that decision and gives the ruling for all of them.
After listening to both sides' submissions, Magistrate Sanula Nambozo was pleased to grant only 5 women bail out of the 14 accused councillors.
So I'm releasing the accused persons they've mentioned on a cash bail of 500,000 each. And then each surety is going to execute a court bond of 2 million shillings. And in the event that any accused person absconds court, they will pay cash of 3 million shillings.
Magistrate Nambozo, in allowing bail for the women councillors, added that they need to go back to take care of their babies. However, since the 9 accused persons presented more than 30 sureties to court, she needs more time to look at all their documents.
Of course, I know even the husbands are there. They're breadwinners. Yes, that is right. That is why I'm not going to give a long, yes, I'm not going to give a long adjournment. Like I said, bail is a constitutional right. We're not going to play on people's rights at our whims. No, we will not.
On this, court remanded the remaining councillors until 14th February 2022.
Kakati tulina okutuula ne bakansala bano bakiikirira abantu ababalonda tuyise budget y'ekitongole egenda okutambuzibwako omwaka mulamba. Kakati kola muteyinza na kuwera kitunyize kubanga tulaba nti ensonga ne badde esobola okugga olwaleero nga kooti lwe yali etusuubiza naye katugumiikirize.
Naye tusaba bonna abasibe abaasibwa mu misango gy'ebikwatagana n'ebyobufuzi abali mu makomera ag'enjawulo ffe tusaba bonna bateebwe.
Era naffe abali ebweru tuli bagumu tukakasa nti era olunaku lugenda kukya babate ate era nkakasa okusinziira ku bwe tubalabye bakyanyweredde ku nsonga.
The 5 released women include Zahara Ruyulika, Winnie Nansubuga, Fausta Bitano, and Rosie Chigozi. Among those released was Councillor Gaddafi Nasul, whom court has taken notes that he was badly assaulted during arrest. Deborah Namamon.
Now, members of the Acholi parliamentary group, led by their chairman, also Member of Parliament Kilak North, Anthony Akol, want an apology from the leadership of the National Unity Platform Party for being behind the protests in the USA against the treatment of Speaker Jacob Oulanyah. They have vowed to block NOP leaders from accessing the Acholi sub-region, as we hear in this report.
Tuesday, 3 opposition MPs, Anthony Akol, Clark North FDC, Lucy Akelo, Amuru District Woman FDC, Dennis Anguzo, Marach County FDC, abandoned the opposition boycott, which was announced by the leader of opposition, also MP Nyendo, Mukungwe Mathias Mpuga, last week and attended the parliamentary sitting. These MPs have Wednesday addressed a press conference and explained why they had to attend Tuesday's plenary sitting.
On the issue of boycott in Parliament, as a person, I was not consulted. But I go with collective responsibility. And that's the reason why, before we went to the House, we consulted the leader of opposition.
They now want the leader of opposition to apologize to them.
Who happened to be the Speaker of the Parliament, this Parliament. There were a lot of issues coming about his health. Some people were saying he's dead. Others are saying he's on oxygen. Some people are even saying he died on the way. He has been poisoned. So I raised the issue to the Deputy Speaker, who decided that she's going to communicate in the House yesterday.
The discrimination, and I'm praying hard that it is not NOP that organized that demonstration in the US.
In the same presser, they expressed displeasure with the leadership of National Unity Platform for allegedly mobilizing their supporters in USA to protest the treatment of the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Oulanyah. Some actually MPs vowed to block the leadership of NOP from crossing to their region.
Basindika sente mpitirivu wano mu ggwanga basasula omusolo so zino sente zaabwe zibakwatako so tebetaaga NOP kusooka bagamba nti akakati mwekalakaase.
However, the NOP party spokesperson Joel Senyonyi has distanced the party from masterminding the Sito protests against the Speaker Jacob Oulanyah, but justified the cause for protests and made it clear that NOP will not apologize.
Bank of Uganda has been advised to find ways of either withdrawing banknotes bearing the late governor's signature, which are currently in circulation, or to introduce an amendment in the current law. In an interview with UBC TV, lawyer Fred Mwema of Mwema and Company Advocates says these notes have suffered an impaired legal status, and the Bank of Uganda tried to oversimplify a complex legal issue without offering legal basis. Mwema was responding to a statement issued by the Central Bank last week, which indicated that all denominations of the banknotes issued remain a legal tender. Our reporter Samuel Senano reports.
There seems to be divided thoughts on the issue concerning the legality of banknotes bearing the signature of former Governor the late Musime Mutebire. Last week, Bank of Uganda advised the public to disregard what they called quote-unquote false information circulating on social media, claiming that the banknotes bearing the signature of the former governor expired upon his demise. The central bank further clarified that the banknotes remain legal tender until they are determined otherwise by the Bank of Uganda, which is the only lawful authority entrusted with the mandate to issue currency banknotes. However, lawyer Fred Mwema of Mwema & Company Advocates says Bank of Uganda's assertions need to be opened up to more scrutiny.
Bank of Uganda would have, first of all, come out and notify the public about the effect of the demise of the governor whose signature appears on the notes, and also advise the public about the steps that would be taken, which is withdrawal of the notes, steps taken to replace that missing signature with the signature of either the deputy, who by law can sign on behalf, or with the signature of a substantial governor.
Mwema adds that the governor's signature on the banknote is personal to the holder, and it ceases to exist when the maker ceases to exist.
And I don't even know that it is possible under the law to extend the validity window for that signature, because under the law, once somebody dies and they have an electronic signature, like it appears on the money, it's yes, the electronic signature is revoked automatically.
Fred Mwema further stresses that he doesn't intend to sue the government on the matter, but is rather offering a legal opinion.
The tender is legal. If Mr. Mwema rendered an opinion that the tender is illegal, he's wrong.
I gave my opinion. So if somebody thinks I was wrong or right, they can also express their opinion.
Samuel Senono, UBC News.
The State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Peace Mutuzo, is still determined to ending acts of marginalization of the indigenous communities across the country. Minister Mutuzo says the government is in the process of coming up with amendments in favor of minority groups. This was during the advocacy meeting convened between cultural leaders from different countries across Africa, held at Speak Resort, Munyonyo.
The Ike from Karamoja, Marangoli, Bamba, Banyabindi, Benet, and Batwa, Bachikingwe are some of the indigenous communities in Uganda. Over the time, these minority groups have complained over marginalization and stigmatization that has not only denied them chance to participate in education, active politics, and other leadership roles. During the advocacy meeting convened at Speak Resort Munyonyo, leaders from different countries, including Kenya, Cameroon, exchanged ideas on best pillars towards peace amongst these groups.
Minority tribes, we are out there for peace because we want to develop and catch up with the rest of the communities.
Pastoralists, more land, for intensive grazing, the farmers practice shifting cultivation, and therefore the need for more fresh or virgin land is always very, very hard because of that.
The cultural leader of the Basongora Omukama Kashagama Ndahura, who was in attendance, commended government for continuously working together and supporting cultural institutions. He also called upon government to look into the land matters affecting the minority groups.
The government initiated a process in 2007 to create a community land trust for Basongora so it would transfer the land. It's taken about 14 years to get to that point, but the government has finally decided and has agreed to create titles for the land that was given to Basongora, amounting to over 40,000 acres or something like that.
Festo Kasaija, one of the advocates for the minorities, has decried the continued illegal evictions of the minority groups.
Nti omuntu yenna bw'anaagulanga ettaka nga liriko abantu basanzeeko baaguliddeko abayitibwa abasenze, tokkirizibwa kugobako muntu n'omu ku ttaka eryo gwe waguliddeko nga kwali.
State Minister for Gender, Peace Mutuzo, who was the chief guest at the event, says government is committed in creating a favorable environment for these marginalized groups.
The education that is offered gives us the same opportunities. You can teach your children your local language because that is within your means. Back home, teach your child Rukonjo, teach your child Nyankore, teach your child Rutoro, the way you would want to.
Minority groups are people who practice race, religion, ethnicity, or other characteristics are fewer in numbers than the main groups of those classifications. Sandra Kahonde, UBC News.
Break and return with much more.
MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 25 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 65 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 165 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
Are your children ready to learn? Schools are open. As parents and guardians, it is your duty to ensure that your children go back to school. COVID-19 prevention measures have been put in place to keep students safe as they go back to school. Not only do teachers prioritize everyone's health, including their own, but they discourage violence among students. They also ensure that students follow SOPs. Any concerns are reported to a school administrator or senior woman or man teacher for correction and further guidance. Dear parents and guardians, you too must play your role. Ensure your children always maintain a 2-meter distance from others, avoid crowded places, regularly wash their hands with soap and water, and wear a washed and clean face mask that covers their mouths and noses. Please keep your children at home if they're feeling sick, and take note. In our effort to keep students safe, there are no visitation days or any other school visits allowed. Let's share knowledge, not COVID-19. This message is supported by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, and UNICEF. Stay safe.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Raising voices.
As a teacher, I have the opportunity to shape how children grow and learn. I believe in creating a non-violent school where children feel safe and respected. I promise to lead by example and create a different kind of relationship with my learners, one that helps them grow.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. The Uganda Business and Technical Examination Board, UBTEB, has started a campaign to skill youths in the country following the President's call to save the unemployed youths. The Entrepreneurial Opportunities in Software and IT initiative is aimed at giving knowledge to young talent such that they earn a living and also improve on the quality of skills offered. This campaign is to be held at Isbat University the 12th of February 2022.
Following the presidential initiative on improving skills amongst youth with an aim of eradicating poverty in the country, It is on such a background that Uganda Business and Technical Examination Board has championed a skilling campaign in information technology and multimedia entrepreneurship opportunities at International Business Science and Technology University, Eastbite University.
There will be a free facility for IT and multimedia skills assessment of participants, career counseling, and professional development potential to be successful in life. By providing sustainable, affordable, and employable education skills training.
That since it is the trend of the young people to join the ICT sector, it is very important they acquire the first-class competencies from Eastbite University, which later are assessed by UBC.
Vice Chancellor Eastbite University, Professor Dr. K.M. Matthew, called upon youth to come and acquire skilling knowledge to earn a living and develop the country economically.
We are also given free data to all the students to access our academic activities 24/7 from anywhere in the world.
Because if you attach a value to yourself, if you be a person of value, people will look for you. People will not come to you for anything else. They will look for what kind of value can you add to the community.
This campaign is geared at improving skills in youth, and the first seminar will be held on the 12th of February 2022. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
A woman member of Parliament in Nakaseke District, Sarah Najuma, has halted construction works of the 33-kilometer Gomero-Migani-Kagonji-Buwana Road because allegedly the work is shoddy. Now, this follows numerous complaints from the community that the project that has cost government over 2 billion Ugandan shillings is quite substandard.
Community roads are very vital, especially to the economic growth and social development of the rural communities and the country at large. Political leaders have therefore been encouraged to emphasize monitoring and evaluate government-funded projects in their areas to avoid shoddy works and misuse of government funds. Following this, communities along the 33 Gomero, Mingani, Kangonji, Buwana Road have been complaining about the shoddy works by Greystone Investment Limited and appealed to leaders to intervene. The Nakaseke District Woman Member of Parliament, Sarah Najuma, who toured the road, was disappointed and immediately halted the construction works, claiming it was substandard.
We've seen on ground, it is not worth it. The road is 2 billion, but a lot is pending. A lot has not been worked on well, especially the swamps have not been filled well. The drainage and the offshoots are not well done. And there is a section that doesn't have maram at all. The section from Kagonji to Buwana, there is no maram at all. And the contractor is raising an issue that he's exhausted with the 2 billion and he needs to be added more money so that he completes the project, which I don't agree with.
She, however, commended the NRM government for emphasizing construction of the rural roads, which are very vital to the development of the communities in rural areas, and revealed that she will continue to fight any acts of corruption and misuse of government funds. The resident district commissioner, Nakaseke, Fred Bamwine, promised to engage IGG's office on the issue to investigate and find out whether over the 2 billion shillings to be paid to the contractor is worth the work so far done on the road, and cautioned contractors against breaking the contract with the Ministry of Works.
I'm not comfortable because they are saying that the money that was allocated has been finished and the road is not yet completed. But even other places like the offshoots, like the drainage system, was not properly done. Therefore, as far as I'm concerned, when you look at the 2 billion shillings, it's not equivalent to the money that was spent. Therefore, to me, I'm going to write to the Inspector General of Government, IGG, and I'm also going to write to the Auditor General to
The Greystone Investment Limited, whom refused to talk with us on our camera, said they need more money in addition to the over 2 billion shillings to construct the road. Tumene Brand.
MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily band of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 25 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 65 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 165 MBs. Dial star 150 star 10 hash or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
Nyankole, muhango. They actually date, don't date. They bagishu, humoba fubalfu. It means king size freshness for all. Move It Family Soap is giving you a fresh start for your family. This soap is indeed so big. Tagwerera muwangazi. Ate it has a great kawowo. Unaba, no naba, kare no nabi dala. Available in coconut, aloe vera, lemon, and rose. Find the king size Move It Family Soap in all Dukas. Next supermarkets close to you. Move It all day confidence.
Start your day bright and early with good morning bundles from Airtel. That's right. Enjoy brighter days with 2 GB at 5,000 shillings, valid for 24 hours. Join that morning agent meeting. Close that online business deal. Catch up with loved ones. Do it all with the most affordable data bundles. Dial star 175 hash to buy good morning bundles from 12 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. and enjoy 2 GB, valid for 24 hours from time of purchase. Good morning bundles for the best day ahead with Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at business news. National Drug Authority has warned the public against the consumption of the Stronger Weekend product and the Stronger Weekend pineapple steel table wine over adulteration. This follows an impromptu search of the factory in Mpondwe, collecting the product with its samples, including batches of the Stronger Weekend opaque beer.
National Drug Authority team, together with Uganda Police, have raided and undertook a search of a factory in Mpondwe and collected the Stronger adulterated weekend product and pineapple steel table wine. The head of region, National Drug Authority, James William Tamale, says the samples tested positive of sildenafil citrate adulteration, a drug for erectile dysfunction.
These are medicines which, when you go to a hospital or to a doctor, you'll be given a prescription to attend to that particular condition that you have. Okay? Now, there are dosages that are prescribed. I don't know what dosage you could prescribe, how much do you get when you take one bottle. So, we look at the worst case scenario. It's just like a person goes to a bar to drink. One of you will take one beer, another will take 10.
William says a laboratory analysis of the Stronger Weekend pineapple steel table wine samples were picked, indicating dangerous side effects.
People will always, at times, work based on people's psychology and what people need or think they need, and try to do that. And in so doing, they'll break laws as they're doing now. So that is usually, I would say, market-driven. All right. So, but it's the duty of the various regulatory agencies to do and to carry out their roles.
National Drug Authority has directed the public against consumption of the Stronger Weekend products, with bars, guest houses, shops, among others, not excluded.
So that's why, as National Drug Authority, we are duty-bound to warn Ugandans if there is a risk that is related to drug. So issues of what are you going to do to these guys? There is a sister agency that is a QMark giver that will take an action.
National Drug Authority has called upon the public to also be vigilant and report all suspicious products on the market Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The demand for office space in high-end areas of Kampala dropped by over 11% at the height of coronavirus pandemic. A baseline survey by Stanbic Properties Uganda Limited on real estate property market trends in 2021 indicates that the average occupancy rate in the high-end areas of Kampala staggered at between 73 and 89% at the height of coronavirus pandemic. However, the demand for business premises outside the central business district of Kampala shot up as some entrepreneurs shifted their interests to peri-urban areas. We have more in this story.
So that as the economy grows and transitions into a middle-income economy.
The COVID-19 pandemic led to a drop in business opportunities in the central business district of Kampala. The peri-urban areas of Mukono and Wakiso demand in business premises shot up significantly as some entrepreneurs opted for distant and cheaper premises.
And this has resulted into development of formal supermarkets in suburban areas in Wakiso.
According to a baseline survey by Stanbic Properties Uganda Limited, the occupancy rate in Kampala's high-end room occupancy rate dropped between 11 to 21% in 2021.
So, especially during the lockdowns, that some people felt that they didn't need actually to come to the city center, and this is where some developers took advantage to put some small shopping centers in their neighboring locations.
The Stanbic Properties Uganda Limited research on real estate properties also recommends investment in rental houses as the economy stabilizes after the negative impact of COVID-19.
To 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom. For a person who has just left university, we'll go for 1-bedroom. For the other one who has now got married and has kids, we'll go for a 2-bedroom. So you can invest in residential.
The research also indicates that there are housing and office space opportunities provided by oil and gas drilling and a rise in the numbers of middle class.
And of course, there will be high demand as we start the oil production because these expatriates coming to the country, they will need where they can be accommodated.
The Stanbic Properties Limited baseline survey was carried out in 2021 and covered office, retail, residential, industrial and hospitality sector in Mukono, Kampala and Wakiso, aimed at establishing the real estate market trends.
So by creating this subsidiary called Stanbic Properties Limited, it's allowed us to actually optimize these properties, which is a process that we've already started.
Tumwine Brand Biarohanga, UBC News.
Uganda's trade and business delegation drawn from the public and private sector are in the United Arab Emirates for high-level engagements with the global business community. The initiative, organized by Uganda Exports Promotion Board, is geared at wooing investors and create more market for Ugandan products. The trade tour comes 7 weeks to the end of the half-year Dubai Expo 2020. Our reporter Dennis Sigua gives us more.
Uganda is strategizing on how to tap into the immense business opportunities with the United Arab Emirates and the Middle East.
We need to trade, and we have been trading already, and we think that we can continue, and that's why we have invited Ugandan businesses and the government to interact with UAE businesses, government and partners.
The Dubai Expo 2020 and side events have so far provided the best platform for Ugandan trade and business delegations to woo the potential business partners.
I thought it was important to highlight the leather value chain in Uganda as a value chain that is nascent but growing with international standards. We are exporting to Italy, we're exporting to Greece, we're exporting to a number of leather producing countries. A lot of what we export is at the wet blue variety, which means it's semi-processed, and therefore there is a possibility of going further.
By the way, our industry also only deals in narrow parts.
We have other species like tilapia, catfish, but most of these other species are farmed.
Currently, Uganda's leading export to the UAE is gold. However, with the country's niche in agriculture, there is room for trade and exports growth, argues John Bosco Lwere from the Uganda Exports Promotion Board.
We have comparative advantages in these products, coffee, tea, and cocoa. So we believe that if we are able to speak to each other and come to an understanding, we can exploit this market opportunity.
The 2 weeks trade and investment roadshow organized by the Uganda Exports Promotion Board and coordinated by Uganda's embassy in Abu Dhabi is one of Uganda's strategic activities for the Dubai Expo 2020.
In terms of like personal and professional levels, the UAE is a very encouraging environment for businesses, and that's why we are here today. We are looking for very successful partnerships with Uganda businesses and looking for export businesses for our products to Uganda.
The remaining 7 weeks of the expo is crucial for the country as it strives to tackle the existing trade imbalance and showcase its trade and business potential to the world. The roadshow in the United Arab Emirates seeks to position Uganda as the best investment destination, as well as create market for the locally manufactured products. Dennis Igor for UBC News in Sharjah.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
And now let's have a look at what's happening in the world of sport, and we begin with football. The continental appeal that Ugandan football has garnered over the years continues to generate partners, with the latest being telecommunications giants MTN. This marriage was announced at Golden Tulip Hotel here in Kampala, as we hear in this story.
MTN Uganda has joined the long list of partners with the football product that the top Uganda Premier League offers. The telecom giants have announced their arrival with a 2-year 600 million shillings deal.
They're bringing us 600 million shillings in cash. Specifically to enable us to recognize our footballers at the end of the 2 seasons, this one and the coming one, as well as some money to assist the clubs, as Bibi is going to explain.
Like in modern football elsewhere, the Uganda Premier League clubs should be the basis for the national team success, which MTN dreams to achieve.
I mean, through this partnership and sponsorship, we have essentially committed about 600 million shillings for the next couple of years. That would be used in recognizing great players, great sports staff, over the years, and that financial value, I don't think is the most important thing. What we have committed here today is to work with the governing bodies, SUPL and FUFA, and work with Senuka on a journey, for the next few years, to make football better and football more exciting.
Federation of Uganda Football Associations believe this partnership that will reward all football parties is a game changer.
They make things happen. They make a big deal out of a very small thing, and they make us feel extremely comfortable. Just as I was a student of marketing, they said that when you repeat one word for 10 times, it shapes the character and it becomes real and likable.
Some of the money will go to excellent players and the other shared as cash prize, with all teams irrespective of final standings assured of an increment. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Athletics now, and Uganda Athletics Federation is bracing for its opening event on the 2022 activity calendar, whose highlight is the World Athletics Championship and the Commonwealth Games. The first stop, announced by the Federation President during a news conference in Kampala, is Tororo for the National Cross Country Championship this weekend.
Uganda's top runners are expected to grace the National Cross Country Championship at Tororo Golf Club this weekend. It's the first event on the Uganda Athletics Federation calendar, and hope is that it excites.
It is now my pleasant honor to launch the Commonwealth 2022 program by also launching this calendar, which is a build-up to that program.
By close of business on Wednesday, more than 500 runners were confirmed, including Olympic gold medalist Peruth Chemutai, Sarah Chelangat, and Priska Chesang. Runners will contest the men and women's 10-kilometer senior race, the under 20 8-kilometer men's race, and the 6-kilometer under 20 women event. This championship starts the Federation's journey of preparing its athletes for the Commonwealth and World Athletics Championships that are due in Birmingham and the USA respectively.
They have been going there for the Diamond League, but this time it's the World Athletics Championship going to Oregon. So we are going to give our athletes opportunity to qualify for Oregon. I know a number of them have already qualified. I can tell you in a marathon we already have up to 8 who have qualified. And by the closure of qualification period, which will be 29th June, we shall have a big number.
Uganda Athletics Federation has performed well at most of the international engagements it has taken part in over the past few years. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
And finally, pool, where the Pool Association of Uganda has named its national team that will contest the upcoming All-Africa Pool Championship in Zambia next month.
At a news conference hosted at the MTN Arena Lugogo, Uganda Pool Cranes coach Nathan Buankosia has named a provisional squad of 12 men and 7 women to play at next month's All-Africa Pool Championship in Zambia.
The main challenges that we are facing right now is funding. We have a team that we have selected, 12 men, 7 ladies, who we believe will be able to enable us to compete in Zambia for the event, but we don't have funding.
The association needs about 50 million Uganda shillings and has been promised a helping hand by National Council of Sports once funds are available. The men's team includes Bwanika Mansur, Ibra Sejemba, Cesar Chandiga, Azali Rukomwa, Ibra Kayanja, Joseph Kasozi, and Habib Sevuguzi. The women's team has Mutesi Rashid, Rukia Naiga, Rita Nemusima, Victoria Namuyanja, Zaimat Nambafu, and Nanda Faith.
We've almost come to the end of this bulletin, but before we leave you, let's have a recap of our main stories.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Stories tonight. Government does not condone torture, according to Minister Baryomunsi. UPDF locks horns with the ADF in DRC's Irumu forest. Lawyers in fairer debate over validity of current banknotes after Mutebire's demise. And in sports, MTN Uganda sinks 600 million shillings in the Uganda Premier League.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. Elizabeth Nakakuni has been on sign language, and I'm Edward Rukidi Kiijanangoma wishing you a blessed night. But remember that shortly it's going to be Super Soul Sisters, and that will be followed later on at 10 by Behind the Headlines. See you tomorrow.
Brought to you by
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Our Ugandan story isn't a new one. It's not about where we come from. It's about what can be accomplished when we're working, living, and growing together. It's about speaking the same language, the language of progress. We're Ugandans building Uganda with Ugandans, skilling Ugandans and developing competencies required in the oil and gas sector, partnering with Ugandan businesses to achieve greatness. We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Ooh.